Testing, 1, 2. Testing, 1, 2. What it do? Y'all already know what it is? Look, I know y'all probably used to me doing different things dealing with entertainment, but y'all know I got to switch it up. And as far as the things that's going on in the world right now, we got to pay attention. We got to pay a little bit more attention to that because I don't know if y'all are aware of what happened with the United Nations and Ghana, the Ghana president or whatever. Now, I've been to Ghana twice already, me and my whole family. I stayed there the first time for about a year, and the second time I stayed for about 8 months. I just really got back about, I think it was about 9 months ago. I've been back 9 months ago. And I always felt some type of connection, as far as with Africa. I know a lot of our people do, but something real important, real serious that happened over the week. The United Nations recognized slavery as being the gravest. I'm gonna play a video and let y'all, hear and let them explain it. But it bothered me. It bothered me a lot but I wasn't surprised. It was 3 countries that voted against this UN resolution or whatnot. And those countries was America, Israel, and Argentina. Now, specifically, America, United States, because we are in the United States, right? And it's not a secret that we was brought here. We was kidnapped. I always speak about this, and I always like to throw it in some of my videos and give my opinion on how I feel about, what happened to our ancestors, right? I know a lot of our people don't like to indulge in this type of conversation or whatnot, or like to bring this up for but I'm bring this up until I stop breathing, because there was a lot of injustices done to us, and they're still being done to us to this day. I done some time, about 5 years I done in prison, and it was because of the laws that they brought about, as far as with the crack law, that was put upon us or whatnot. That was for black people, and I've seen a lot of our men going to prison and getting a lot of time. Some of these guys are just getting out, and that probably like about 30 years ago. When I did that time, and I realized that was put upon us. That was put upon, our community and everything. And it's like nothing was done about it. Just like now they're recognizing what happened to the so-called black people or whatever. Why did it have to take this long? For them to realize that this was the most heinous, gravest crime that was committed among a people in humanity, right? Let me get some of these super chats right here. Let me get the super chat. Eric Jordan, EJ, what's going on, brother? Glad to see you here. I appreciate the $5 super chat. I really appreciate that. let me see. Janesta. I want to send a shout out to Janesta. She was here earlier before I even started the live. Good evening. And I appreciate the support that you always been doing on this channel or whatnot. You know, Janessa, she always in the comments, always, you know, commenting and keeping the comments on fire or whatnot. I really appreciate that, sis. Um, what it do, Captain Tech? What up? What up, bro? We're gonna get into a little grown folk here. Um, Miss Shalina, she says, sounds like a money grab that no victim will ever see, and every person who has zero involvement of it will pay for it, even though they can afford rent and food for themselves. Well, it's a lot of things that, you know what I'm saying, we can talk about as far as with this situation. Right now, they trying to push for reparations for the ancestors of the slaves or whatnot. But me myself, you know, and I might be wrong, but me myself, I don't think that they don't give us no reparations. You know, because their ancestors are benefiting from what our ancestors did is built this country up, right? For free, for the free, right? Now, I don't know if y'all familiar with, you know, these different countries getting reparations like Japan, Israel, you know, these other different countries. Everybody got reparations, but the so-called Black Americans, we never got reparations or anything like that. You know, we was just oppressed more, right? They kept they foot on our neck. But let's get into a little bit of information as far as, you know, this whole situation. And I got some certain videos that I want y'all to watch, and then we can come back and we can elaborate on these videos. And we can see where a lot of this going, because at the end of this live, I'm gonna give y'all, you know, my opinion on things, my revelations of things, and some things that I believe in, you know, and it might, you know what I'm saying, get a little like, well, people probably might not understand me, but I'm gonna try to explain as much as I can. I'm gonna try to explain, you know, as much as I can or whatnot. But let's get into this video. Let's see the situation with the reparation, the UN resolution or whatnot. And I'll be right back.
Ghana wishes to draw attention to the very consequential resolution which President John Dramani Mahama of Ghana will be tabling on the 25th of March, which is just next week, Wednesday, a few days from now. This is a resolution seeking to declare the transatlantic slave trade as the gravest crime against humanity. For more than 300 years, Africans were treated as property, were tortured, humiliated, raped, and forced out of the continent, over 12.5 million of them, in the most dehumanizing and despicable circumstances. The world is yet to acknowledge this. Perpetrators are yet to apologize and have not compensated the victims. This is a time to demand reparative justice, and this is the time to demand restitution.
All right. What it do, Pooh Man? What up, brother? Up in the building. Appreciate you being here with us today. Let me see. Captain Tech. He said America will never give black people what we are owed. Like, how is an Asian hate bill before it's a black hate bill, and it was passed by Obama? Exactly. And a lot of people, a lot of our people like to hold Obama, on a pedestal or whatnot. But my question have always been, what did Obama do for us? Right? He did nothing for us. And just like Captain Tech said, he passed an Asian hate bill before, before he did a black hate bill, which never happened. Like, we not going through nothing around here. We okay. It's equal for us or whatnot, right? And Pooh Man, you right about that. We was sold by Africans. But the thing about it is, Africans are not us. Let's talk about Africans. Now, we got people in Africa that, are related to us, are our same nationality. But it's a difference between the African American and the so-called Africans, like what you would call an Egyptian. We're not the same as the Egyptians or whatnot. So yeah, they did sell us. They knew who they were selling. They knew that they were selling slaves. They knew that they were selling a certain type of people or whatnot. Right? Like, it's something with the so-called African American, that the world is so amazed by. If you look at it, we are the best in everything. The things that a lot of our people invented, and they stole it. They stole our inventions, right? They steal our songs, right? they just now started learning how to dance like us, right? Because, back in the day or whatnot, they couldn't dance. They was, all off beat, and you know what I'm saying? So, everybody look at the so-called black man and they want to be like us, dress like us, act like us, talk like us, but they don't want that pain though. They don't want that pain. And it's a lot of our people that don't want to hear people like me because I put it out there. And I don't care what type of feelings anybody have or anything like that. I can see what the hell is going on. I seen what the hell was going on long when I was a little boy. Why the hell do the whole world hate black people? And a specific black people, not just, you know what I'm saying? A specific black people though, right? But it was the United States, Israel voted against reparations, and also that slavery was the most horrific thing that was done to a people and humanity, right? And they just now realizing that. And a lot of the other countries, China, Iran, North Korea, Russia, these countries voted like, yes, we want to recognize the things that happened to these African Americans that's in America being oppressed, right? See, a lot of people don't want to talk about that. They want to be like, shh, y'all be quiet. Y'all gonna start some stuff. But shit already been started though, right? Y'all correct me if I'm wrong now. I'm just 52 years old, you know what I'm saying? I know it's probably people that's older than me that's familiar, a little bit more familiar of what happened or whatnot, that their parents probably told them stories and things that went down. You know, I can only tell you what I went through. You know what I'm saying? And this video I'm about to show you is something that I can relate to because I was in this era right here. You know, when they opposed this chemical drug on us, right? And it destroyed families. It destroyed so many black families. Y'all just don't know how many people are lost from this epidemic. The people I seen die, not just by using the drugs, but people selling the drugs, people getting into turf wars and all that stuff. Y'all can just imagine, right? But let's look at this video, and while we looking at the videos, I'm gonna get on this comment board and because I appreciate the feedback, you know, because this is a subject that we need to talk about, right? Because the things that's going on on this earth right now, it's going to affect us, and you wonder why. Why is all this stuff coming out? Right? Why is all this stuff coming out? Because America is lifting up her dress and everybody can see what's under her dress, right? The shame, right? And America's still proud, still this proud nation or whatever. You know, they want to call themselves, or they want to call other countries terrorists and you know, call them all kind of degenerate names and all that stuff, where they looking at them as they the bad guy. That's the bad guy. America can point out who the bad guy is. But if you really look, and you really ain't even got to look like that, who the bad guy? America the bad guy, right? But let's look at this video here, and I'll be right back, y'all.
The crack epidemic, the war on drugs. The reason why a 17-year-old, a 15-year-old want to walk around in a shiesty mags is because of the crack era. It's literally because of that. That's from the crack era. You can go spend $50 and come up on $200 in a day. So you do that 5 times in one day. As addicted as people are to crack, you just came up on a wreck. Now you can go buy your own ounce. You in the game off of $50. You dig what I'm saying? We talking about something that like completely obliterated our community in every aspect. Ronald Reagan and a full-scale CIA operation. It was a declaration of war on the black community. It was a chemical warfare. A lot of times when black people talk about the black community, when they talk about tight-knitness, when they talk about the family unit, us owning our own businesses, what they're talking about is pre-desegregation, right? And a lot of those movements happened pre-crack era too. You know, the civil rights movement, the Black Panther movement, the black empowerment movement, period. All of that was squandered due to the war on drugs. Not only level of addiction, but we get breakdown of family dynamics, right? One person in your family being addicted to crack will literally ruin your whole family. We talking about mothers and fathers. We talking about women who have been, like, the women who raised America, black women who raised America. Up until probably about 20 years prior to the crack epidemic, we're still raising white people's children. The mothers of America were addicted to drugs and like completely abandoning their children. The breakdowns of businesses, the breakdown of black trust, the breakdown of black love, exploiting.
All right, I've been looking at some of these comments, man, and somebody stepped in here, you know, who is this gold standard or whatnot? He's saying 4,000 years of every race on the planet getting enslaved. I would call that standard operating procedure. Then came the let me finish reading it from here. Then came the 1860 British, I can't finish it, but he also said that, ever notice how, let me bring it up right quick. Yeah, my bad, y'all. He said, ever notice how every time someone yells, America did this, it is the Democrats who did it. As far as what that's concerned or whatnot, I ball them up in the same, category as whether it's the Republican or a Democrat. They all, both of them is of the same bird. They're just different wings or whatnot, playing, just playing the side that they got to play. I wouldn't care if it's Republican or Democrat. They still the same people. They still going by the same policies, making these same policies for us or whatever, to where it affect us, in a way where we're not able to flourish or succeed or whatnot. We're not able to. How can I say it? I'm like tongue tied right now, but they make it hard for us. The policies and all that stuff is oppression for us, right? Just like they make the laws or whatnot. They make the laws, but they can break the laws, right? Now, as far as with this crack thing, they made it where if somebody get caught with one rock, right? Just say if it was $20 rock, you know what I'm saying? That $20 rock equals to 100 $20 rocks or whatnot. So if you had a kilo of crack cocaine, it was 100 kilos of crack cocaine, right? But with the powder, as far as what the white people was using, it was just 1 for 1, right? I mean, I know people like to, fantasize and think that shit is equal between us, between a certain people and the black people. But it's not. It's never been. Right? And it was some more comments in here where people are talking about America and the U.S. dollar, not being nothing no more. The U.S. dollar is getting killed every day. Right? How is that going to affect us in the long run? Because you got these wars or whatnot. They just not using missiles and guns and all that stuff and soldiers. They doing it economically. They doing it energy-wise. You know what I'm saying? The oil and all that. Iran, they shut down the Strait of Hormuz, right? And it's affecting us, right? Because the gas prices is going up, right? And then what did Iran do? Iran said, we're going to let whoever want to come through the Strait of Hormuz except America and Israel. We're going to let y'all come. We're going to let the other people come through. But y'all got to buy y'all oil in yuan. Right? So right there, that's an attack on the dollar. You think America, they about to have, you know what I'm saying? They about to go down like that? Because it's going to kill the dollar. America won't be a superpower no more. That's America's superpower, the petrodollar. And I learned this long time ago, and you got to think about it. All the things that America did or whatnot. And this guy said, it's about the Democrats and all that. No, it's about America and America's system or whatnot. America will go around and taking people's lands all the way back in the 1700s, the 1600s. No, matter of fact, let's go way back, further than that, the 1400s. They started back then. America has been in power for 249 years. July the 4th, it'll be 250, right? And since America been in power, America's been in war for majority of that time. 95% of that time, America has been to war with other countries. And they basically taking stuff, right? But let's not get off topic, okay? Let's look at this video where this guy, he's talking about the whole world and how people are looking up African Americans or whatnot. Y'all, this is my first time looking at this video. I only looked at it a little bit, but y'all get the gist of it or whatnot.
I will say it again. They don't want you to know this, but the #1 Google search in the world that the world is looking for, not America, the whole world, is Black America. They're beginning to see what took place. They're seeing now that we're under oppression. Because see, now they see the true United States. Since they went over there in Iran doing what Israel tell them to do, which they've always done, which we've tried to tell them that we're oppressed on a daily basis. Now the world sees it, and we're trying to tell them the Bible prophecies that we fulfilled as the children of Israel. So now the world is beginning to say, oh, wait a minute, 1 + 2 = 3. And they starting to see that Israel is evil. That ain't the biblical Israel. So now they're starting to see there's Israel right there in the U.S., Black America. Now they're all searching about you.
And it's true. You know, I like to say this a lot. The world is watching America right now. The whole world is watching America. You know, for different reasons too. Some are watching to be like, well, America's been in power long enough. Or we tired of America shit. Right? Russia, China, North Korea, Iran, Iraq, Afghanistan, Libya. They're tired of America, right? It's not gonna be a pretty sight, you know, as far as America's future. Let me just say it like that. I gotta watch what I say, you know, on here because, you know, they'll flag all kind of stuff. So y'all gotta be patient with me. But America has a destiny, a prophecy, right? And it's basically like happening right in front of our face. Iran not scared of America. And it's just not Iran. You know, a lot of people like to say that America is the greatest country in the world. And their military might is unmatchable, untouchable. Can't nobody do nothing with America, right? Right, no, can't nobody do nothing with America. But you think about the big bully story where this bully, he's going around, he's bullying everybody, right? So one day, everybody get together and they get the bully. And that's how it is as far as with this UN vote that they voted on or whatever. Everybody went against America and Israel. Right? America, they'll never leave Israel or whatnot. America is isolating itself. I said this years ago. I looked at this years ago. America is isolating itself, right? Trump was selected. We didn't vote Trump in. I don't vote anyway, but Trump didn't get voted in. He got selected in. I mean, y'all can do y'all research on that or whatever. Y'all can believe what y'all want to believe. But our vote don't matter. It don't. But the thing I wanted to say was, as far as like it being a slap in the face for America to vote against that UN resolution. And then the people who going to war, the people who was in the army, the police, right? The FBI agents, and I'm talking about the people that I'm talking about the black FBI agents, the black army members, the black police. This should be a slap in the face that the United States, the country that you live in and that you serve and protect, would reject that slavery wasn't the most gravest thing done in humanity. You got our people ready to die for this country. And this country won't recognize that, okay, we did y'all wrong. Why they can't just admit it? They can't even admit it, that we was done wrong. And then you had people coming in talking about, oh, well, a lot of people was enslaved and this happened to these people and all that stuff. Okay, we can give you that. But it wasn't on the level as what our ancestors went through. It can't even come close. You want to talk about alligator bait? It's now coming out that they was eating us too, right? What about the Jim Crow laws, right? I mean, y'all correct me if I'm wrong or whatnot. You know, I'm gonna need somebody. I'm gonna need some help so people can, read the comments for me, because I got a lot to say about this subject. I've been pissed off for 10 years. And when I say I've been pissed off for 10 years, because I was one of those person like, oh no, they okay. You know, they all right. We got to forgive our enemies, right? I was one of those persons. Until I realized, like, man, these people don't give a shit about us. They do not care about us. And again, I wish I can like really dive deep into why I believe this stuff. I don't want to, turn nobody away or be like, dude, tripping and all that. But no, I'm not tripping though. I'm not tripping. My brother who just popped in, my brother Linzel, he's familiar of what I believe in. Right? And who the black person really is. We some really important people. That the whole world don't. Let me just say like this. You got to think about it. When we was brought over here, they took our language, right? They took our whole culture, right? They erased everything from us. You got to think about it. At one point in time, we couldn't read. We could not read. And why was that? Because we would find out a lot of things about ourselves. We can go back in history and find out a lot of things and find out that we was lied to. Basically, everything that taught to us, it was a lie. It was a lie. How can we trust somebody that meant no good for us from day one? How can you trust your kidnapper? How? I mean, just common sense. How can I trust somebody that came and kidnapped me? And I'm a look at it from my experience. I got kidnapped. I felt like the FBI came and kidnapped me. And I didn't see the streets for 5 years. And after that, I can never trust the FBI, the government, none of that stuff. None of those people, I mean. It's mind-boggling how some of our people think. And I don't want to, get down on nobody or whatever, because it's going to be a time when you're going to wake up. You think you're seeing something now as far as with the gas prices, and that's just minute. That's just small. That's just scratching the surface or whatnot. Wait until serious stuff start happening, where if this war keep going on, it's just going to destroy the economy. Right? Well, it's going to be 2.0 Venezuela or Cuba. America is running out of borrowed time. America don't have that long. I know we like to say, or we like to think that, I'm going to have this job, I'm going to keep working or whatever, and I'm going to die in my old age or whatnot. But the day and time that we in now, it don't look like that. Like, we should really be, I'm not going to say, and for black people, we shouldn't be worried, because what can we do? We don't have no bombs. We don't have no goddamn economic power or whatever. We don't have nothing. So what can we do? What can we do? But I tell you this, the world is watching, and the world is going back, and the world is finding out who these black people really is. There's something special about black people. Tell me I'm wrong. We the best at everything. We the best at goddamn whatever it is. Even if it's wrong, we still the best at it. If it's goddamn dying, we the best at it. If it's having high blood pressure, we the best at it. Look, I don't want to talk to y'all to death or whatever. Let's get into some more video. Let's get into this video where the Ghana's representative explained why the U.S. voted against the reparations or whatnot. So this is why the U.S. voted against recognizing the atrocities that happened to so-called African Americans when they was brought here.
Those that voted against the resolution was the United States. Were you disappointed by that vote?
So I would like to comment on the reasons they gave. They sought to create the impression that the time for negotiations have been short. The president of Ghana served notice last year in September. Immediately thereafter, we put together a broad-based coalition, including experts, academics, researchers, historians from all regions of the world. And we commenced negotiations. We allocated 3 hours, twice the time, and had multiple rounds of negotiations. So there are some that to us, it is clear that even if we gave them 50 years, they would say that the time is not enough. Secondly, the claim they have made that we are seeking to create a hierarchy of crimes. We have stated clearly that it is not about hierarchy. We are only speaking to a historical fact. Never in the history of mankind have we had such a systemic crime. We took over 3 centuries, more than 300 years, with its consequences still lingering unto this day, manifesting in racism, in structural inequality. What is fundamental, which nobody can deny, is that more than 12.5 million people were forcibly removed from the continent. More than 3 million people died, were tossed into the transatlantic ocean, which is a mass grave site. And in our country, Ghana, the country with the highest number of slave forts and castles, We are living witnesses on a daily basis when we go into those castles and forts and we see the door of no return. We break down.
One of the key reasons raised by the United States for which reason they are abstaining is the lack of clarity on who is the recipient of the reparatory justice. What is your response to that?
It's surprising. In this resolution, talked about frameworks which will put in place that will take care of the consequences, the lack of opportunity, discrimination, the degradation of people of color. And we have made clear that African leaders or Caribbean leaders are not looking for money. It goes against our conscience to seek to profit from this. We are talking about courses to deal with the structural inequalities. And we are also talking about the return of artifacts. There are thousands of artifacts from Egypt all the way to the Ashanti Kingdom in Ghana. Again, it is totally wrong for a claim to be made that there is no clarity about who benefits from reparation.
All right, I want to read some of these comments. This first comment up here, Pooh Man, he said, every empire lasts about 200 to 300 years. Facts, right? Exactly. And my point is, America is at 250 years. It'll be 250 years July 4th or whatnot. 250 years. And now you have all this stuff going on where you got like 4 superpowers ready to go against another 3 or 4 superpowers or whatnot. This will be World War III. I believe we're in World War III already. I believe that happened back with Russia and Ukraine or whatnot. Because America was fighting, on the sideline, giving Ukraine shit, all type of drones and information on Russia. Same thing what Russia is doing with Iran. But Russia is not hiding it. Like they like, yeah, we giving them like information of where their soldiers are at and top military captains and all that stuff. They getting this from Russia. But I agree with that, Pooh Man. Who is this? This is somebody I haven't seen before, so y'all got to bear with me. Giant Nick. Y'all, I butchered that. They said that no reparations but Israel and Argentina can get America tax dollars, and they voted against it. Right. Exactly. All right, let me see what this dude got to say. He says UN is controlled by Muslims, just like the Quran demands. Unless you are prepared to stone your woman, don't let it happen. I don't know what to say about that, y'all. But this guy, he keep talking about the Democrats or whatever. It's America and Democrats, they the same people. I don't see, the difference between them. Pooh Man said, Biden, racist crime bill. Right. That crime bill, who you think that crime bill was for? That was for us. Right? I mean, I didn't know back then. That the crime bill was made for us or whatnot. Lindsay will say, good guy, bad guy routine. Exactly right. That's where you got that bird, and you got these 2 different feathers, but they still the same thing. They the same. They on the same bird. And Captain Tech, this one right here, this is going to be in, this is going to be relating to the video I'm about to show next. But he said China's dollar is more valuable than America dollar right now. Exactly. He right. He right. It's just not about conventional war or missiles flying around everywhere. We talking about economies, right? And like I'm not fear mongering or anything like that, but we got to prepare ourselves because the way these pedophiles and damn I gotta watch what I say, y'all. But these y'all know who I'm talking about. But the ones who run in this country, the ones who run us, telling us what we can do and what we can't do, what we can have and what we can't have, right? But let's get into this video right here. Where is that video at? Oh, here we go. Let's get into this video right here. And you got the comedian, what's his name? I forget his name. God damn it, where's his name? Well, whatever. Y'all know, y'all tell me in the comment or whatever. But I'll be right back. Let's listen to him.
Iran just gave one condition to open up the Strait of Hormuz, and that was you must buy the oil in yuan, in Chinese money. And the American dollar is the petrodollar. Everybody need to buy oil with American money, and that's why we can sell treasury bonds and we can get the loans for free. No interest or none of that, because, you know, we the world standard on the oil money. Now, Iran just switched it up. Chinese is now the oil standard. If you want the oil to move through the Strait of Hormuz, or whatever it's called. So, yeah. Start buying Chinese dollars, y'all. Every empire comes to an end. We had a nice run. We had a nice run. You know what I mean? It's a wrap.
And it's a wrap. Basically, America is done. Stick a fork in her. She done. She done. I'm talking about done. And a lot of our people don't even realize that. A lot of our people don't even want to hear it. They don't want to hear it. But you got to pull your head out that hole one of these days. You can't keep hiding and looking away from you know what's coming or what's already here, right? Because that's what I'm saying. Where we at right now, this is nothing. People crying about gas prices and all that stuff. This $4 or whatever, that's nothing. Wait till it get to $8, $10. Wait till it get to there. They talking about something about an energy lockdown. I don't know if y'all heard this before or whatever, but an energy lockdown, and I should have got, you know, some information on that. But an energy lockdown, they doing that because of the high gas prices and oil prices and stuff like that. And also, you know, a lot of stuff run off gas and oil. Just look what happened to Cuba. Lights out. The whole goddamn country. Just imagine if the lights go out in this country. Just imagine. Are you ready? You ready for, you know what I'm saying? Like, you probably got some food stored up and people, you know, coming knocking on your door, seeing if you got some food. Or people coming, like, on some buffalo stuff and kicking your door in and coming to see if you got some food. Not asking for it. They want to see. That's why it's important, you know, that we pay attention. You know, that we get prepared for the unknown or whatever. You know what I'm saying? protection. I'm always about, you know what I'm saying, our people protecting ourselves, you know, because again, we are the most hated people on this earth. So if by us being hated the way we're hated, we need protection, right? Not only that, as far as us preparing that we go to the store and they ain't got no food there. And again, I'm not trying to fearmonger. I'm not. You know what I'm saying? I believe that our people, we gonna be all right. That's just my belief. You know what I'm saying? But we gonna be all right. You know, especially if we stop going against each other or whatnot. And I know a lot of, you know, people of other nations don't like to hear that. And I always wonder, like, God damn, why we can't love each other? Why we can't love our own people? And you know what I'm saying? We love people that's not us more than we love us. I don't get it. I you know, have conversations with my wife, and you know, we look at different things on social media and, you know, dealing with our people and all that stuff. And I had to tell her sometimes, you know, we got to be patient with our people. Our people been through a lot. So we got to be careful how we, you know, speak on our people. We got to be patient with them. Because they've been through a lot. We've been through a lot. Right? But got another video. Let's keep this thing going. This basically talking about the same topic or whatnot, but this is just somebody else, another point of view that somebody else got. So
let me say something that should not need to be said. The United Nations has voted to recognize enslavement of Africans as the gravest crime against humanity ever in 2026. Did this really need a UN resolution vote? Let's dive into it. The UN resolution was led by Ghana, passed by the General Assembly, and also pushed the conversation around reparatory damages and justice further into the global spotlight. Now, yes, this is a historical thing, but let's be honest. What took so damn long? What took so long? Because for those of us in the African diaspora, this is not anything new. This is not a new revelation. We have known the scale of this crime. We have lived with the consequences of this crime, the wealth stolen, the labor stolen, the people stolen, the culture being attacked, the generations traumatized, and the systems built from that suffering have been obvious for centuries. And here's the thing that really makes this even more interesting, right? The UN system had already recognized slavery as the slave trade as a crime against humanity back in the Durban Declaration in 2001. So what happened? So what happened now is not that the world just discovered the truth. The world finally took another step towards naming the full weight of it. That does matter. Because once you fully name a crime, you get closer to naming the debt. You get closer to the reparations. You get closer to the accountability. You get closer to asking who benefited, who still benefits, and what justice should actually look like. That's why some of these countries were uncomfortable. That's why some voted no. There were three, the United States, Argentina, and Israel, that voted no. That's why some abstained. Ironically, all of the European nations abstained from this vote because truth gets expensive when you start demanding repair. So yes, this is a major moment, but it is also a reminder that institutions are often the last ones to admit what our people have already known. That is why our work still matters. If you want to a resource that you can go deeper into these conversations, comment the words 50 Truths. And we'll send you a link to grab our book, 50 Truths They Tried to Erase. And if you're watching this on TikTok or YouTube, go ahead and click the shopping cart button and grab yours today. But this is Urban.
All right. Now, he said a lot there, you know, basically the same thing I was saying, you know. Oh yeah, shout out to who was this? Regina. Oh no, Reginald Roundtree. Reginald Roundtree. He said, "Ghetto talk. Keep talking because you cooking. Appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? But this is. I love my people. I love my people. I'm telling you, one day I'm gonna get my wife on here and she gonna tell you how I defend my people. You know what I'm saying? Even if sometimes they in the wrong. You know, not wrong, but okay, look, we can overlook that. You know what I'm saying? We just telling, look, you can't do that. You know, that's not a good look. But I'm for my people, and I don't think nothing wrong. I don't think it's nothing wrong with that, because everybody else for their people. Why we can't be for our people? That's what goes on in my mind. You know what I'm saying? That's like when I'm out, I don't care, you know, if I don't know you from Adam, if you my people, I'm gonna speak to you. How you doing? You know what I'm saying? But let me see. Golden Son. He said, "We were never slaves. We were prisoners of war." True. I agree. But some still came from Africa though. It was some still here, but some still came from Africa. We got scattered around the whole earth. You know what I'm saying? Right? We were prisoners of war. And what about the black slave owners? Which of you are cut off once you trace your lineage? What? Black slave owner? What do you mean? I don't know, man. But see, you got people like this, you know what I'm saying, that try to go against or try to say, well, what about the Africans? They sold black people. You know, black people sold black people or whatever. You know, but them ain't our people though. Right? And then you got somebody talking about some black slave owners. I haven't seen that in no type of history. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I need to look that up. Matter of fact, I will look that up. Black slave owners. And I'm gonna hold you to this. Poppy Golden Son, you know what I'm saying? Because that ain't cool for you to come, you know what I'm saying, and like interrupt with this type of nonsense. I call it nonsense. I'm just gonna call it what it is. It's nonsense, right? But you got your own opinion. I don't know. You know, I'm gonna look that up. But it seems like you're going against everybody who got something to say about what's going on or what they experienced or what, you know, type of history or whatever they've been looking at or whatnot. Where's you getting your information at? Because 9 times out of 10, who your information coming from? It got to be coming from the pink booties. Let me find out, Poppy Golden Son. Let me find out, man. I'm you know what I'm saying? I don't know if you know what's your deal or whatever, but I got my eye on you, bro. Okay, yeah, that was Eddie Griffin. Thanks, Pooh, man. That was Eddie Griffin or whatnot. Okay, Pooh Man said, he said, what's crazy back in the day, the Dems acted like the reps act like today. And it's right. It's a back and forth thing. Just like you said earlier, whatnot. One of them playing the good guy, one of them playing the bad guy. And they just switching up what role they playing or whatnot. Right? You know what? I think my next live is gonna be about you know, people who be taking up for these this, I'm gonna say, this system. You know, like this system is not against black people. You gotta call a spade, you know, because if you try to go against calling a spade, then you're going to make yourself look like a fool. Especially getting on ghetto talk. Trying to come with that. We don't play that over here. You get threw up out of here head first. We don't play that, man. This is something serious. You hear what dude said? He said this is historical. This is a historical event right here, man. You can't come in and try to turn and twist stuff around and all that stuff. No, we don't do that over here, man. Somebody need to pay for what happened, what transpired or whatever and shit. Because you best believe somebody paid for what happened to the people over there in Israel. Or what happened to, or what America did to Japan. They got reparations. Somebody paid for it. So, it's a slap in the face for America to reject and recognize what happened to the people that they still got in captivity. Just like the dude said, we're prisoners of war. Yes, we are prisoners of war. I agree. Exactly, right. That's the thing that kills me when our people walking around, we free. We got freed in 65 or whatever. We free. You ain't free. Because if you were free, you know who free? Goddamn Iran. They free. They free. Because they fighting. They got missiles and drones and all that shit. They free. But it's somebody who trying to come take their freedom. Ours was took over 400 years ago. So how the hell we free? Oh, man, I done got myself amped up. I know my wife probably in there about to trip out on me or whatnot. But I had to bring this out, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Again, it's not always about, entertainment and what somebody else doing and all that stuff. We need to really look at some of the things that's being brought out in this period of time right now. Because this situation right here is historical, just like dude said. And we really need to be paying attention so we can, prepare ourselves. I know a lot of people don't have the means to, prepare themselves because, we at the bottom. So what can we really do? Right? We at the bottom. But I'm going to go on and get up out of here, man. I'm going to run these shout outs down or whatnot. Shout out to my brother Pooh, man. Shout out to Lenzel. Shout out to my sister Janesta. Appreciate y'all, for the support. Who else on here? Reginald Roundtree, shout out to y'all. I appreciate, the feedback, y'all. It really helps me. It really do help me. I think I'm gonna change this up and have somebody, probably my wife or something, to look at the comments or whatever, because it's multitasking like this, man. It can get crazy or whatnot. But again, man, y'all keep paying attention and watching the world, not just America, watching the whole world, because what happens around the world, it affects America or whatnot. And to my brothers and sisters, we got to stop the hate toward each other, especially in the time and days that we're in right now. We need to love on our own people. We done loved on everybody else, for long periods of time. We need to love on. It's time for us to love on our own people or whatnot. But I'm going to get up out of here. I know I missed last week live, but I had some business going on, so I didn't go on. But next week, same time, I'll be here, and I hope y'all be here with me or whatnot. Again, too, if anybody is willing to come on here on the channel and you know what I'm saying, and speak y'all point of view about different topics or whatnot, just email me, right? You email me. I don't have the email up here now, but you can catch my email at the end of every one of my videos that I make. But I would like somebody feedback, somebody to come on here and, we can, discuss different situations and topics and, stuff like that. But just email me and let me know that y'all willing to come on to come on Get On Talk. And I will send y'all a link and y'all can pop right in and you know what I'm saying, we can just we can vibe and talk about some real serious things, and we can talk about some stuff that don't even matter, But I'm going to go on and get up out of here, y'all. I'll be hollering at y'all next week. This your man, y'all already know what it is. To the next live, it's Ghetto Talk, up out of here. Peace.